Hello. It is raining so hard right now. I've also been feeling a bit under the weather, but I'm here now, so I've been reading a book. So it's about Sita from the Ramayana, if you're familiar. Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni is the author's name. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Just look at that cover. It's so good. It's so good. It's not, it's good because of the things that you might not categorize with a book being good. Like, normally, I would categorize a book as something I love because of how it was written and of the plot. But the thing is, this book I already know the plot, it's from the Ramayana, but the difference is that the author's perspective on the book is what makes this so beautiful. Because if I was just reading the Ramayana, right, I wouldn't truly get to know about this character specifically named Sita. I would only know about the whole plot. So, in some cases, I think that more than the plot, we should make an understanding of also learning about how a character is. I'm talking about books right now. Um, they just the way characters are portrayed in books are so special and just give us this idea of what the author also might have been thinking at that time, which makes it even more beautiful because you're telling me that a person is sharing their thoughts and is sharing their way of thinking through a character that they really keep dear to their heart. That feels more dear to me. It feels wholesome in a sense because for me that's the utmost joy that anyone could give me, of giving their ideas, their thoughts, their things that they think about all the time to me so that I can also look into their world once and look into, wow, the perspectives that I didn't have. I could also try and be someone like them. And this has been a blessing and a curse of me thinking that I could be someone like another person. Because in reality, in like life as well, my friends or my family or anyone, literally a stranger or someone I saw on YouTube, I always try to put myself in their shoes and think about what they might be thinking and think about how they might go through their own world. And that makes me not only more what not only more just open minded about people, but also it just helps me beautify my own life. Sometimes it does get out of hand and then I dissociate from how I want to live, but I think that's just the way I am. I'm like a pot, and there's water in that pot, and that water is my mind. My mind just sways in one direction to another because the sensitivity I have to not people's emotions but people's potential, people's way of living is so high that I need to constantly remind myself that I can live a life that is good to me, that is wholesome to me, and that is present enough so that I can be in it. And I don't need to always live like someone else is living so that I can become better or so that I can live a more beautiful life than what I'm already living in. Because nowadays, I think that the sadness that I occasionally feel or the times where I'm under the weather, these are all also so beautiful. Because if not for these things, how would I ever get to know the range of things that you can feel, the range of things that you can feel from this one life that I have. And maybe this is because of my nature, but maybe this is also something we all should try and do more nowadays, especially with everyone becoming more individualistic. It is also important that we learn how to distinguish our life from others, but it's also really beautiful just listening to what there is to witness, right? So, yeah. And we got all that just because I'm reading this book. Also, another thing that I've been thinking about, we do not I think I let me talk for myself. I personally try to neglect the surface level matters that happen. Like, for example, it might be the small talk that I do with a stranger, or habits, or just this boredom that we feel constantly in life, like doing the same thing over and over again, the repetitivity of life. I've been i've been struggling with that because I don't really love a routine. But reading this book, it has made me realize that just the sense of time is very, very limiting. Time feels very limiting to the vast reality that we're living in. Let me explain. The repetitivity, I'm not going to get this right. The repetitivity we experience is not a measure of anything. It's not a measure of how good we are doing, or how good we are going to do. It's just a part of life because it makes us want to look into what could make us happier. And maybe that's why we have to be more repetitive, and I did it right this time, and be more present, because it makes us want to see if we can have more happiness and joy. And that is also a blessing and a curse, because that makes you sometimes dissociate from the present and you get bored with the boredom, like how I am getting that feeling. But everything's for a reason, right? And sometimes, like Sita has done in this book so wonderfully, she repetitively had to go about her life in the palace that Ram was in. She had to struggle a lot, and she had to also live in the forest every single day. And she had to endure so much, but she doesn't complain about enduring, because she had learned from a very young age to think about endurance as something that was natural. It is natural for her to endure pain and to endure the repetitiveness of life, because she just accepted that she had to from a young age. So, thinking about that, it makes us also realize that it's okay to endure pain, it's okay to endure the boredom, and it's okay to not look for more. But we must also look for more, because we also must realize that we are deserving of more. So, becoming rooted with the fact that we do deserve more at the end, and constantly striving for a goal, but also relishing this idea of endurance, of hope, of pain. These are all also very, very beautiful in their own special way, because endurance is not something that everyone can do, and that's why people struggle, because they just aren't well coped with enduring even after 40, 50 years of living this life. But how do you cope with endurance? How do you cope with enduring pain? By going through it, by experiencing pain. So Sita did this from a very young age, and maybe that was why she was set up to endure throughout her life. I'm not saying we are like that as well, because this is a character that you're talking about. I'm not going to talk about whether this was real or not, but you get what I mean. She is still an inspiration in the sense of we have to also be willing to endure, but it's important we strive for more as well. Why? Because if we were not meant for more, we wouldn't have to endure. Endurance also has to be for a reason, or else for me it becomes too unbearable. So that's another thought I had about her and about me and about the world. So, yeah, what else? I think that's it. I have a few tidbits of thoughts that I'm going to try and sprinkle through shorts, because why not? So you can find me on there as well now. And yeah, thank you for listening to this girl yap. I'm just letting you know that learn from Sita a bit, and it's okay to endure pain. If you're enduring your life right now, like we all are, don't worry, you're not alone.